The Hammer Justice fight is easily my most favorite among all the bosses in Deltarune so far, and so naturally I've been playing it a bunch lately. I've been trying to do no hits, just get a feel for your attacks, just replay it over and over again because it's so fun. And so naturally I found out that yeah, you can skip dialogue, you can skip attacks if you reach a certain point. So naturally I began to wonder, oh, well, how many turns is required to beat this fight? How many dialogues can I skip? Which is what I wanted to find out. But first, let's talk about the gimmick of the Gerson fight really quickly. So, I looked into it a little bit, and the way this fight ends is when you hit 84% Mercy, he will use his final attack. So basically, there's 5 ways to get Mercy. You can attack, which gives you 4%. You can do a Rude Buster, which makes it go ping pong. That gives you 8% for succeeding and 6% for failing. You can do healing, which gives you 9%. Or if you do none of those, you will eventually get attacks that just give you Mercy just for surviving. Obviously, we're not going to do the healing, the failing the ping pong, or the last attacks, as that is not efficient in skipping attacks. So we got to focus only on attacking and Rude Bustering. So naturally, more Rude Busters is better in this situation, and now we got to figure out how to maximize TP gains. Getting TP in this fight is very straightforward. Attacking gives you 24% TP. The arrows give you 0.5% of a TP, but if you do a perfect parry, it gives you 1 full percent. So in this fight, getting a perfect parry is basically essential if you want to have a run. There's also 2 attacks which has your heart red that you can really capitalize on, the turtle shell attack and the hammer attack. You gotta graze that so you can get the most amount of TP possible. So this fight requires some equipment just for maximizing TP in order to skip the attacks. So the equipment I'm going to be using for my attempts is going to be Devil's Knife, minus 10% TP, and also the Low Stun Tension Bullets gives you TP gain up. Basically, this is making me allowed to get the most TP possible and use the least TP possible to get the stars. So basically, I'm capitalizing on everything here. So Gerson has 19 attacks, 19 dialogues that this fight goes on for, excluding the tutorial ones. And 4 of those are just the attacks I mentioned earlier that gives you Mercy if you didn't get enough by this point. So I think the average person is seeing about 15 or 17 of these attacks. We can cut it down, I think maybe to 13, 12, or 11. That's my personal thoughts going into this. Because 84% TP needed. Rude Buster, that gives 8%. So you can't do it in less than 11 or less than 12. Because you need the attack, you need to get that 4%. So that's my thought process here going into this. So what I'm doing specifically here is seeing how many dialogues I can cut off, and also seeing the least amount of turns. So I found out that the tutorial turn, it gives you free TP basically. You can use that to your advantage, and also if you get hit during it, you get a second attack that gives you just more TP. So I mean, it's not really that good as opposed to getting TP wise, but it does help cut down dialogue more. Because, you know, you get these 2 dialogues, while the other dialogue is pushed back to after that. So it's basically gives me a free Rude Buster to go off of, and it's more TP. So basically, the 2 tutorial attacks were a must-have. It's kind of annoying, like, reloading the game every single time I fail, since you only get that on your first try of the fight. But it was well worth it, I found. So, yeah. Okay, I'm done yapping. I'll show you the full fight of my best attempt, and I'm pretty sure the best attempt that I could ever get. I'll explain why it's that way after the fight. I'm going to put the Mercy counter in the upper left, and then the turn counter in the upper right, so you can just, like, know where it's at all times. Alright, so there you have it. The least amount of turns you can spend on this fight is 13, and I skipped about 8 dialogues, which is a pretty big number. Now, the reason why I couldn't go below 13 is because, if you look at my TP at the very end there, I didn't have enough to do another Root Buster, and even if I did, one Root Buster would not have made a difference. I would need to have 2 more Root Busters than I already did in order to get a turn less. And I don't think that's possible. I don't think I'd get that far. Now, the tutorial attacks, I mean, they don't give you that much TP. If I were to do the ones after the tutorial attacks, it would give me like about 24% more TP than I would have had originally. That's still not nearly enough to bridge the gap. Even if I did all the perfect parries, even if I did the perfect graze on the turtle shell and the hammer, I don't think I would have enough to get there. But if you want to try, please, feel free. I would love to be proven wrong on this. And I will say, the only reason why I did the tutorial attacks was just for the sake of skipping the dialogue and skipping some of the attacks. If I did it without the tutorial attacks, I would not be able to do that. It would still be the same result of 13, just because you can't bridge that TP gap required to get a turn below 13. So, yeah, this was a really fun challenge for me to do. It was fun trying to time everything. It was a little bit frustrating, but it was very fun. So, yeah, if you enjoyed this video, you can feel free to subscribe, or like the video, or do neither. But if you have any ideas for Gerson or Night fights, like challenges-wise, you can comment them down below. I'll see if I can get to that, because, I mean, those fights, they're fun. They're fun. I want to test to see how far I can go. Except for perfect parries. Like, I don't think I could do perfect parries on every single attack, but I mean, I could try. But anyway, yeah, if you like this video, like it. Give it a like. Please, I need to feed my family.